Elara Hayes had given her entire heart away, only to discover she was the only one left with an empty cup. She never imagined that the very kindness she offered to everyone else would almost be the end of her. I don't think I've ever heard of someone who embodied pure, selfless kindness the way Elara did. She was the one who never said no. The one everyone in that small town near the hills knew, not because of fame or fortune, but because she was always there. If someone was ill, Elara cooked for them. If someone was sad, she stayed up all night listening. If someone needed help, she left her own work unfinished. People whispered she was an angel, and maybe she was. But no one saw what happened behind her closed door. Her house was quiet. Her dinner often went cold, and her heart, slowly, was growing tired.
Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, Elara would sweep her yard, water her flowers, and visit her elderly neighbor, Aunt Sarah, who lived alone. Then, she would head to the small village school, where she taught little children how to read and dream. Her students adored her. They would run and shout, "Miss Elara, Miss Elara," and she would meet them with a smile, a soft, tired smile. But every night when she returned home, that smile vanished. The empty chair at her table was a silent, aching reminder. She cared for everyone, but there was no one left to care for her. The day it all started to unravel was a typical one. After class, Elara felt a sudden wave of dizziness. The chalk fell from her hand and the board blurred. Her colleague rushed to her, saying, "Elara, you need to rest." But she just shook her head. "There's too much work. The annual school fair is next week. I'll rest later." That later never came. A few days later, the school fair was a huge success. Elara had organized every stall, every student, and every decoration. Music played, and laughter filled the air. The entire village was celebrating, except for Elara. While arranging the very last table, her legs suddenly gave way. Her body hit the ground softly, and darkness surrounded her. When she opened her eyes, she was lying in a hospital bed. An IV drip was in her wrist, and a gentle nurse stood nearby. The doctor spoke quietly. "You fainted from pure exhaustion. Your body is tired, and your heart needs rest." Elara whispered, "But the school, the fair." The doctor interrupted softly. "Everything will wait, Miss Elara, but your health won't. You have given too much without refilling your own cup." His words echoed in her mind like a solemn bell. You have given too much without refilling your own cup. For the first time in her life, Elara, the helper, the strong one, the listener, was speechless. She was the one who needed care, and the painful truth was, no one was there for her. That evening, the nurse brought her a small flower in a glass. "A student left this for you," she said. Elara smiled faintly. It was from Amir, a quiet, shy boy with big eyes from her class. The next morning, Amir visited. He looked worried. "Miss Elara, please get well soon. We miss you." She smiled. "I will, Amir. Thank you." Amir hesitated, then said something that would change her life forever. "My mother says you must also love yourself the way you love others." Elara froze. That simple, innocent sentence hit her harder than any medicine. It was the truth she had avoided all her life. When Elara returned home after a week, her house felt different. Not because anything had changed physically, but because she had. She looked around. The same chair, the same table, the same silence. But now she saw herself in all of it. She whispered softly, "I'm sorry, Elara, for forgetting you." She decided to change, not to stop helping others, but to finally start helping herself too. Every morning before visiting Aunt Sarah,
She made time for a quiet breakfast. She began journaling her thoughts. She painted again. She laughed again. She started taking walks by the lake in the evenings, watching the orange sun melt into the water. Slowly, her tired heart began to glow again. At school, her students noticed the change. She smiled brighter. Her voice was softer, yes, but it was full of peace. She even started saying something she had never said before. "I can't do it right now, but I'll help later." At first, people were surprised. They whispered, "Elara has changed. She says no now." But soon they noticed something else. She was happier, healthier, more alive. Aunt Sarah once told her, "You look different these days, my child. What changed?" Elara smiled. "I started giving the same kindness to myself that I give to others." Months passed. The entire village began to see the quiet strength in her. She still helped people, but she no longer disappeared inside their problems. She listened, but she didn't forget her own peace. She helped, but she didn't forget to rest. Her life became like a candle that burned steadily, not wildly. Her balance was a silent message to everyone around her. Self-care isn't selfish, it's sacred. One day, Amir visited her after class. He pointed to the empty chair in her house. "Miss Elara, why do you keep this chair empty? No one ever sits there." Elara looked at it and smiled. "That chair," she said softly, "is for me. Whenever I feel myself forgetting, I sit there, breathe, and remember who I am." That chair became her symbol, a reminder that even the kindest hearts need a place to rest. Years later, people still talked about Elara Hayes. But this time, they didn't just say she helped everyone. They said she taught them how to help themselves too. Because her story became a lesson for every tired heart. Every person who gives and gives until they have nothing left. If you're listening to this, and you're like Elara, always saying yes when your heart whispers no, listen closely. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own time. You deserve your own love. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take time to rest, breathe, and love yourself. Because you are the one person you'll spend your whole life with. Elara Hayes had given her entire heart away, only to discover she was the only one left with an empty cup. She never imagined that the very kindness she offered to everyone else would almost be the end of her.